Hello, families. Welcome to the first of our video series on family discipleship, this wonderful book by Matt Chandler and Adam Griffin that we're going to be walking through, and for the next several weeks, walking this through chapter by chapter to help equip you as parents to be the primary and most able disciple maker that you can be in your family. As a church here in Hampton Falls, we believe that parents are the primary disciple makers in your family. And we believe that's scripturally based, that it's the parents who primarily are the ones who are to pass along the faith and to grow their children and family deeply into the image of God and grow in their Christ likeness. So we know this is a difficult task, and we know this is something that's hard to do, especially for many of you who are having to do unique schooling opportunities this fall. You may say, what, another thing I have to do all on my own? No, we're not going to leave you all on your own. We want to come alongside you as a church, partner with you, and equip you. And we believe this book can be a great equipping resource. So just so you know, we've made this book available to any family that wants it for free. So if you would like to reserve a copy of this, fill out the form on our website. There's a link there, and you should click on that and send it. It'll come straight to me, and we'll send it directly to your mailing address, and it'll come in the mail straight to you. We want to get this into your hands as easily as possible. So several of you have already ordered this, and we're so grateful for that. This book should be coming to your doorstep any day. And so for the rest of you, if you'd like to reserve a copy, do so at any time, and we'd love to send it to you. So because many of you don't have the book yet, and this is our first video, I'm going to walk through just the foreword and the introduction today, and then next week we'll jump into chapter 1, just for a couple of minutes to give you some key insights. So our goal in this is twofold. As the book says, this book is designed to encourage families, just to give you an uplifting attitude towards family discipleship. It can be really intimidating. So we want to encourage you, first of all, that this is something you can do as the primary disciple maker of your family, but also to equip you and to give you really practical, great resources. And this book is just full of great practical resources to equip you, just to give you things to try right away, right away today as you go home. So first for the foreword was written by Jen Wilkin, who's an author I also commend to you to find her books and resources to look into. But she just gets us started and says that, parenting can put us into a fog, rendering many of us into survival mode, ready to pronounce any day in which everyone makes it to bedtime alive as a raging success. I think they were writing this before COVID and before the pandemic. But yeah, as a parent with young kids, when you get your kids finally to bed and they're quiet, that feels like a raging success. But she pushes us in the foreword to look beyond just that as mere success. And as the title of this video indicates, it comes from her phrases in this book. She says oftentimes parents who are talking to empty nesters or those whose kids have grown up, they either say two things. They either say, just wait. One day it'll all be past. So just hang in there. Or the phrase, just treasure this season. It's not always going to be this way. They grow up so fast. And so as the title of this video indicates, we want to be in between that. In between the just wait of they're going to get out of the house. Don't worry about it. It's going to come one day. Or also, don't neglect this season. This is a really amazing time that you'll never get back. We want to be in between just wait and just treasure this season. So this book is an encouragement and a practical help, and it gives the framework of time, moments, and milestones. And we're going to get into those in a couple of weeks when we start digging into the core of this book. But this is just a wonderful start. Their introduction sets the tone for this book. So Matt Chandler and Adam Griffin get us started in the introduction. And before each chapter, I encourage you to take a note of the quotes that are just before each chapter. So here on the side here, before each chapter, there's some wonderful quotes from different people. So for the introduction, it's Charles Spurgeon, Billy Graham, Elizabeth Elliot, and Martin Luther, all talking about families and the role of parents, particularly in family discipleship, to grow up their children to be like Christ and to know him, to grow to be more like him, and to go and serve and tell the world all about him. So as the primary disciple makers in your family, what does that look like? What does it even mean to be a disciple maker? Well, right on the first page 17, they say that a disciple maker is a follower of Christ helping others follow Christ. And so as a Christian, that's all of our responsibility. And so especially so for parents with their children. It's just someone who is a follower of Christ that's helping others try to be more like Christ and to follow him. And so that should be our primary goal as parents, is to help our children grow to be more like Christ. And so what I love about the introduction is it's just full of grace. This is a season where parents are overwhelmed. I've already mentioned it a little bit, whether it's schooling or social settings or trying to find play groups that are safe or trying to figure out if sports are going to happen. Whatever the age group is, it's a tough season. And so parents, give yourself some grace and just find yourself enveloped in the love and the grace of Jesus, which is poured out for you. And so they do a wonderful job in this chapter by saying, just as in your life, it is by grace through faith that your kids will be saved. It's not of your own doing. It's a gift of God so that no one can boast. So yes, there's some things we can encourage each other with and grow into, but ultimately it's all grace. So we're going to do the best we can, but ultimately leave it into the Lord's hands. And he's the one who does the finished work for us. So grace, grace, grace. They encourage us in this introduction to remember that the core of this book is actually in the chapters where there's worksheets and questions to answer. They say, if you're going to do anything, skim the book, but do the questions and the worksheets. Fill out the charts, answer the questions, slow down enough to answer those questions well and to make the most of this. Use this as a chance to make a plan for your family and what this can look like for your particular family. So this book is designed to be used by parents to create a plan for the spiritual leadership of their home, as they say on page 22. And so that's really the heart of this book, is to make a plan for the spiritual leadership of your home. So we encourage, and we'll be praying for each of your families as you do that. I think the last two things I'll say from the introduction are this. The last section, they give 8 different phrases that they are not trying to communicate in this book. Read those 8 phrases, read the contents that follow them, and just allow yourself to receive that. And just to remind yourself that this is not to shame you or to put guilt on you or to tell you how bad of a parent you've been up until now. That's not the point at all. The point is to give you practical things to live into. So let me read these 8 phrases. What they are not saying. We are not asking you to make your kids the most important thing in your life. Jesus is the most important thing. We're not asking you to make your kids the most important thing. Number 2, we are not putting responsibility for your child's salvation on you. It's on God and the finished work of Christ. We are not shaming you. Number 3. Number 4, we are not unduly comparing you to other families. Every family can do this differently. Number 5, we are not asking you to fake it. Number 6, we are not saying you are alone in this. And we're certainly not saying that as a church as well. We want to come alongside and help you with this and partner with you. Number 7, we are not saying that every parent is qualified to disciple their kids. So we expect Christian families and parents to disciple their kids, but there's also scenarios where it may not be best for the parent to be the disciple maker. And number 8, lastly, we are definitely not minimizing how important this is. This is maybe the most important thing that parents should know, how to be the disciple maker in their family and how to live into family discipleship and grow spiritual leadership in their family. Lastly, they encourage us with this phrase, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. 365 times the Bible uses this phrase, do not be afraid. Amazing. It's the most repeated command in the Bible. Do not be afraid. And it applies to family discipleship as well. So each week, usually on a Thursday, I'll be sending out an updated video about the contents of that week and to help you walk alongside it. So I encourage you to get your copy, to be reading it on your own, and to be encouraging one another as you are equipped for the task of family discipleship and being the disciple maker for your kids, whether they're newborn babies or up all the way through high school. God bless you. We are praying for you as your Hampton Falls church family. See you next week.